Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I know people are probably going to come after me for, stating my opinion on something political. And I'm going to just say this right now. I am not the most political person in the whole world. I know, very, minimum stuff when it comes to politics. I'm still learning things to this day, and I'm 25 years old. All right, so you can take what I say to the heart if you want to. You can laugh about it. You can agree with me. At the end of the day, I'm just stating my opinion because I just want to talk about something when it comes to my podcast and stuff. That's what I'm doing. I'm a talking man, Obviously, I'm like, that's what a podcast is. So, anyways, what I wanted to overall talk about is Donald Trump, all right? Now, I could talk on many things when it comes to politics. I don't know many things when it comes to politics. Like I was saying, I am not the most political person in the world. I know very few things when it comes to politics. But I do know about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he definitely has opened my eyes when it does come to politics. And I had to say, seeing overall how he is in office and seeing, more so the separation he has caused within the world. I feel like the world was already separated enough, from just everything that's going on. But I do feel like as soon as he got into office, and I've talked on this before, but I feel like as soon as he gotten into office, and then when it came close to his final few days in office, I really got to see how separated the world is. It's definitely an eye opener, getting into it with friends, with people I went to school with, shared classrooms with, shared lunch tables with and stuff. I was cool with these guys at one point in time, and then getting into arguments. I remember the day when his supporters had attacked the Capitol and stuff, and the two friends I grew up with, and it was these, well, I wouldn't say I was they were my closest friends, but I'd say I was, I'm on good terms with them. I'm even still on good terms with them to this day. I like to hope and think I am, but seeing them reach out to me for the first time in years, I mean, yeah, the phone does work both ways, but seeing them reach out to me in years just to talk about this, that's how I knew how serious this stuff was. That's how I knew how serious people took Donald Trump. And I'm if it gets to the point where, you're having these message battles with your own friends and stuff, I'm bruh, that's not something I ever wanted. If that was the case, I would have rather them not ever contact me. It just stayed silent. We just went back and forth, liking each other's accomplishments across social media and stuff. Just overall that. Just going back and forth doing that. But having it where it's I share, hey, the Trump supporters raiding the Capitol, that's stupid. Then them messaging me, no, it's not. They're doing it for legitimate reasons. I'm these people are crazy. Something's wrong with them. No, they're not. They're doing it for legitimate reasons. Seeing how strong a Trump supporter would, go above and beyond to, anything that this man does, they always had an argument for it. They always had a defense for it. That's crazy. That's over. And I know there's going to be people that are saying, no, it's not. It's not crazy. He had his reasons. He's doing this. He's doing this. But think about it. You were thinking, I would imagine that a lot of his supporters were thinking this stuff already, right? And they were just waiting for that one person to go into office and ignite it all. But answer this. Was your life screwed up at any given point in time beforehand? Because these are the things I would like to learn. These are the things I would like to know. How was your life before Trump getting into office versus now? Talking on personal life, business life, your, living situations, your working situation, anything that you got going on in your life, how has it changed? Because I do feel that Trump supporters are very secretive about their life. Like, you don't really hear about a Trump supporter in their personal life until you see on the news, oh, Trump supporter was arrested today for doing this and things. I guess they were working at a grocery store, blah, 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 and, so on and stuff. But other than that, I don't really hear too much about, like, Trump supporters in their personal lives and stuff. Like, I have to say, I didn't really start hearing about Trump supporters' personal lives until, until that Capitol raid. And then, but just seeing, like, how much, damage that caused, and seeing how, like, they're even still, like, it got to the point where, that situation was so serious that they celebrate, like, the 1-year anniversary of it, and I'm like, bruh, like, you have to like, my thing is this, because I feel like a lot of people look at that situation as like there was nothing wrong with it. There was many things wrong with it. First off, you don't go about things like that. I'm saying, like, I'm trying to think, in the times I've learned about, American history and stuff, and I feel like I've learned a lot about American history throughout the years, from stuff that I learned in school, from things that I just went out my way to learn about. I have never ever seen some stuff like that before, where you have your own people turning against you. Like, obviously, yes, that's happened in many situations. Like, I'm not saying that, Americans don't turn on Americans, but I'm just saying, like, to that extent. Like, it shouldn't be surprising, but at the same time, like, it is surprising. Like, there's something about it where it's like, fam, like, this is different, from when you're hearing, like, gang violence that's going on out here, or let's see, like, other, like, something other than gang violence, but, like, overall, like, y'all catch what I'm saying. Like, there was just something about this that was more surprising than, like, 2 rappers going at it, or 2 YouTubers going at it. Like, it's crazy when you see your own president ignite something like this. Like, at the end of the day, because you sit down and think about it, he put his own supporters in danger. He did. Because that situation, it went down, I had to say, like, best case scenario. Best case scenario, like, how that whole situation went about, best case for it. Like, yeah, there was overall people that died, but, bruh, there could have been so much more bloodshed. There could have been probably a full-out war going on, like, within our own country. I'm saying, like, stuff like that, you can't look at it and be like, he did the right thing. Like, you cannot say that. You cannot say that. I'm sorry, but it's just something like that. It's like, you have to look at it as, like, what if Barack Obama was to do some stuff like that? What if, like, when Joe Biden, when he leaves, he were to do some stuff like that? Like, I'm saying, like, I'm giving you, like, like, and I feel like if I was a Trump supporter, not saying I am, but let's say if I was a Trump supporter and I were to see some stuff like that, you already know for a fact I'm forgetting everything that, and it probably would be, like, still lingering in my mind, but if you were to see Joe Biden or Barack Obama, George Bush, okay, I have to say that probably had to be, like, the second most hated president. I mean, there's probably, like, of my lifetime, there's probably other hated presidents out there, but I do feel like that George Bush, throughout his, like, time being president, like, he did get some hate and stuff. So, but I feel like that if overall, like, if any of those presidents were to do some stuff like that, the media backlash that they would get, the many stories and articles, the many, people that are talking about how you put people's lives in danger. Like, that's overall what I would like to see and hear. Like, to anybody that had, overall look, because that's the thing. It's like, there's 2 different sides to this. Like, with the political game, there's always going to be 2 sides to this. So, hearing it from, like, a Trump supporter's perspective and their point of view, how would that make you feel if, like, Barack Obama was to do some stuff like that? He's like, well, I'm not ready to leave. I'm not ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just have my people, my supporters, just go crazy all across the United States. Have it where it's like you're no longer friends with a good friend of yours. You're no longer family with a good family member of yours. Like, you guys are now, like, fighting each other because of some political stuff. That's why, like, with me, like, the political stuff, I never really got into it because it was always, like, a separation thing. Like, I'm like, my thing is this. for all people, I don't care, who they are, who they support, what they got going on in life, homeless to rich, like loving to depressing, like I don't care who you are. I try to be a person for the people. My thing is this, like if you voted for Trump, don't try to like force me to vote for Trump. Like if you voted for Trump, okay, that's on you. And that's the thing where it's like, I've talked with people where they have said like the same things that Trump has said. Like I remember I was at jury duty and I sat down, or this old dude sat with me. He wanted to just sit down and talk. I was like, all right, yeah, sure, it's cool. And he was talking about how he doesn't like the fact that Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, during the national anthem. And my thing is this, instead of like arguing with them, I just wanted to hear things from his perspective. It's not going to change how overall I feel. I'm like, if people paid attention to why Colin Kaepernick did that, you will understand why. And it was like, my thing is this, it's no different than Trump supporters raiding the Capitol. No difference, okay? It is a difference, but I'm saying, like, if we're going to really, like, he's taking a stand for something that he believes in, you guys are taking a stand for something that you believed in. You can't look at my thing is this, you can't get arrested, shot and killed, pepper sprayed, hit with batons, be on a no-flight zone because you're kneeling during the national anthem. Can you get all that stuff? Can all that stuff happen to you if you raid the Capitol? I'm saying, like, just sit down and, like, look at the differences between those two things. But he was sitting down. He was telling me about how he doesn't like how Colin Kaepernick, how he kneels during the national anthem. I heard what he had to say. I didn't interrupt him. I wasn't trying to, correct him. I was just like, all right, yeah, you're all right. I'm hearing what you having to say on this matter. It's not going to change how I feel. If Colin Kaepernick, if that's how he wants to protest, that man has every right in his life or whatever he wants to do. If that's how he wants to protest, that man is allowed to do that. Who's going to stop him? He is a grown man. Seriously. Like, and it's messed up. My thing is this. It's messed up that he got blackballed from all of the NFL. And there are probably people still that raided the Capitol that hasn't been arrested. Like, there's still, there's like the major ones. There's the ones that was caught on, video, like, where they wasn't covering their face. Because, yeah, it was, of course, it was beginning, or not beginning, but it was like during the pandemic and stuff. So a lot of people was probably most likely wearing a face mask. But there was, some that was caught. And it's crazy how, like, with the least, like, damaging thing that can be done to America, there was like an outrage all across the world, and it overall cost the man losing his job versus something that could have been so damaging to the United States. I'm saying, like, I just don't, did I say the world at first when Colin Kaepernick? But it was like, but no, it was overall like he did get like this, like, like just a nationwide, like, just hatred for him just standing up for what he wanted to believe in. And that's why, because my thing is this. He was doing that to, to explain to people. And I just like, just overall, hear me out. Just hear me out. Because I'm like, I take the time out of my day to hear out a Trump supporter. And even if you want to comment, whatever you want to do, reach out to me. And you want to say how you feel on a certain matter, or about how you feel on, Trump supporters and all that. Or, Trump's views and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll hear you out. But I'm still going to have my own personal beliefs and feelings towards stuff. But to explain to people why Colin Kaepernick was doing the things that he was doing, he wasn't doing it to be rebellious. He wasn't doing it to disrespect America. He wasn't doing it to disrespect the president. He was doing it for young black people. Young black people that get wrongfully shot and killed up and down streets because a cop felt like their life was in danger. You mean to tell me a cop, that's surrounded by his peers, a cop that's surrounded by his peers, had a right to shoot down some teenager, I believe, 16 different times? Like, there's like, I'm saying, like, to me, like, that just doesn't even make any sense. But Colin Kaepernick did it for that reason. Colin Kaepernick did it for the same reason why I believe the kid's name was Michael Brown. And they were saying that he had his hands raised in the air. My thing is this, right? And I guess, like, the whole situation with Michael Brown, like, if it was that situation, allegedly, I guess he was inside of a store stealing. Does that give him a reason to lose his life? Or does that give a reason for a cop to take away his life? Like, no, it doesn't. That's why I had to say, like, things in this world is very, very political, because you have situations like that where it's like a person can't just, instead of the cop being like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm paying for his food. I'm going to teach him, like, why you shouldn't do these things, why you should just overall be somebody like myself, help out the world, be a person for the people. That situation could have went down so differently, instead of it being a situation where it's like, we still got to remember his name. His name lives on. His legacy will live on. That situation could have been a motivational story to just bring people together. But it's not. In other situations, I mean, even situations now with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, then there was like recently there was like 2 videos, and it's videos where it's like it's hard to watch when you see somebody, just overall like asleep. Like, I saw the one video and I'm like, that video has like been permanently embedded in my head, where a guy was just asleep, cops raided his house, shooting him in his bed pretty much. And I'm like, bruh, like, well, he was like regardless of where he was asleep at, it was a sofa. But anyways, like, I saw that video, and it's one of those things where it's like, you don't want to see it, but like, that type of stuff, like, it's happening across the world, where it's like, you get nervous just being who you are. That's why Colin Kaepernick was doing that stuff. Do you think a Trump supporter goes out? Because my thing is this. A black person goes out, and just to talk on this, like, real quick, black person goes out, I'm pretty sure it's, like, probably crossing some of their minds, like, I hope a cop doesn't, feel like his life is in danger when he sees me. I hope I'm not getting followed in a store. I hope I'm not getting called a racist, derogatory name. I hope, like, all these different things that's been happening to black people for freaking hundreds of years, bro. Hundreds of years. Versus a Trump supporter that openly goes out. Like I'm saying, like, I don't be driving up and down the streets, blaring horns, got flags up saying I'm black and I'm proud and all this other crap. I don't do stuff like that. Trump supporters, they do stuff like that. I saw that. I saw Trump supporters do that. Slowing down traffic. Literally slowing down traffic. Giving people a reason not to vote for Trump. Giving people a legitimate reason not to vote for Trump. But I'm saying, when you have people do that versus when Barack Obama was running for president, nobody wasn't doing that. Joe Biden, nobody wasn't doing that. Donald Trump, his supporters became so open and so free in who they wanted to be because they've seen a president doing the same thing. A president, or, a former president, being so quiet, closeting in how he really feels about stuff. And then as soon as he had that power, as soon as he had that, that spotlight, because overall, that's how I see Trump as a president. Trump wasn't trying to be a president. Trump was overall just, trying to get the biggest spotlight that you can possibly get. Because what is the biggest spotlight that you can possibly get in the United States? Being president. He honestly, my thing is most likely he probably stated his political views back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. He was probably going around telling people his political views and how he overall felt. But he was like, he got tired of that. He got tired of going around telling people, he's like, I'm going to do something different. He woke up one morning, he did something different. Next thing you know, that man was president of the United States. So now, the biggest spotlight that you can possibly have in the United States is on him. He has the mic. He is allowed to say whatever he wants to say. He is allowed to do whatever he wants to do. This man came out and said some of the most out-of-pocket things that you can possibly say as a president. Not saying that there hasn't been other presidents that came out and said out-of-pocket stuff. I'm not trying to say that. I'm not trying to say he's the first person to ever do that. There are other presidents. But of this time, you would think years done passed by. You would think he would be different. You'd think he would be more of a people person. Yet, he is kicking people out of our country. Where it's like in their country, it's 10 times worse. Making it seem like that a race is, like a scary race when they're not. I'm saying like all of these different things where it's like, bruh, like why all of this stuff even happened in the first place? You see, like I'm saying, like it's stuff like that. That's why, being in politics is not good all the time. It's really not. Being involved, being in it, like I understand why a person would overall get into politics and stuff, but the amount of times, like, me being like, and I guess just like kind of just talking on myself and how it was for me, like when I turned 18 and people was like, bringing that up, like, oh, you're now eligible to vote. I don't care. I'm like, I really don't. Like it's not like, like life is gonna be any different. It's not like my life is gonna change drastically. It's not like, and I know that like that's how overall it is. It's like, so it's a, it's a build up. But I'm like, my thing is this. We've had like what 40 something presidents, like that's how clueless I am when it comes to politics. We've had like 40 something presidents. The world's still crap. We still got homeless people like living up and down streets. You still got it where businessmen like will struggle to be a businessman and businesswomen struggle to still be a businesswoman. You got where the workers of those businesses struggle to just be workers. You got where like prices of things go up mad crazy. I'm saying there's like, and then you got where our country is literally trillions of dollars in debt. And my thing is this, we're all supposed to put this into a president. How? Like how, my thing is this, that's like to talk on like businesses, workers and all that stuff. That's like having a business, right? Let's like having a cafe. All right. A cafe. I'm familiar with cafes. I worked at a cafe before, but that's like having a cafe, right? And it's like the busiest day. You're expecting one person to do the whole job. The whole job. They gotta cook. They gotta clean. They gotta ring customers up. They gotta do. It's possible, but it's literally going to take so long to be able to satisfy every single person in there. Then that's the thing. There's gonna be people in there where they're not satisfied. And that's where that separation stuff, where it's like people don't come together. People don't like, that's the separation. That's the whole thing just about politics. And that's why I'm like, fam, like to live in a world like that, it's like, bruh, it makes you want to move to a country where like politics is not really a big deal. Like people just be chilling and stuff. Like whatever country is like that, please let me know the destination so I can be there. But saying it's like, it's stuff like that where it's just like, the political stuff to me, it's just not a fun thoughts. It's not something that, it's like I just don't really think about. And so that's why I'm like, yeah, when it's me in politics and all that stuff, I'm like, I just don't have nothing to say about it. So when people ask me about political things, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna be a listener. I'm not gonna, because like I feel like after this episode releases and after it drops, there's going to be probably a crap ton of people reaching out to me on stuff. Probably getting on me for not being a political person. Getting on me for, not really caring about Trump and his political views. It's like, I just don't care. So, anyways, yeah. You've been offended. Sorry. But if not, then cool. It's like, I appreciate people out there, for listening to what I have to say and, just overall going with it and stuff. But anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you to everybody that tuned in to today's episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 40 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And make sure you use my supported credit code for Epic Games, TMossBoss. And in the meantime, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching or listening, and peace.